Welcome back to the most unprofessional sports channel on YouTube. Welcome back to Swivel Chair Sports. I'm your host, Zach Zuckerberg-Merkel, here with my co-host today, Aaron. Go ahead and say hi, Aaron.
Hi, Aaron.
Please make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoy our content. But other than that, let's get into it. So, in this video, we'll be talking about the AFC wildcard race. Obviously, that has really heated up after this past weekend. Tons of movement in the bottom of the AFC conference. Just a couple of teams to look out for as we're going through this discussion. Obviously, some teams that moved up. The Indianapolis Colts, after 3 straight wins, jumping up to the 7th seed after starting the year off 3-5. Now they're 6-5. Look at the Denver Broncos, obviously. They've been a great story. 5-game winning streak. Started off 1-5. Now they're 6-5. You got the Houston Texans, who have a rookie quarterback and a rookie wide receiver and a rookie head coach and have no business even being playoff contenders somehow at the 8 spot with the same record as the Broncos and the Colts. I mean, it is just mayhem what's happening over in the AFC. We have teams like the Bills who maybe won't make it. The Bengals who maybe won't make it. Granted, due to the Joe Burrow injury, but still. We got the Browns who are somehow in there without Deshaun Watson. The Steelers, who have a negative 23-point differential, somehow sit at the 5 seed right now.
That differential's getting smaller, though.
It is getting smaller. I will admit that. We got the Chargers with a plus 11-point differential, who are sit at 4-7, are probably guaranteed to miss the playoffs. Like, the AFC has just been insane. Aaron, is there anything that I missed as far as like the craziness that's been going on?
No, not really. I mean, other than Houston, had they won last week, playing the Jags, they would have probably been the favorite to actually win their division. That would have put Jags kind of in the position of the fighting for the wild card spot. But other than that, you kind of hit it all on the head.
Yeah, I mean, it has just been insane what's happening right now. Obviously, at one point, we even had the AFC, all 4 AFC North teams with a chance to make the playoffs. I think all 4 of them at one point in the season were in a playoff spot. Obviously, since the Joe Burrow injury, that's changed, but it's just been crazy what's happened over there. As a Chiefs fan, going over and peeking over and looking at seeing what the Broncos have been doing recently has been kind of weird. Like, I don't think we expected that to happen after they kind of took us to the woodshed, if we're being honest, defensively. Some of these teams, we just never would have expected would be here. The Jets we thought would be up here. Obviously, with Aaron Rodgers getting hurt, that kind of changed things in the first week of the season. But I mean, the Colts, when Anthony Richardson went down, we thought had no chance. The Browns, when Deshaun Watson went down, thought they had no chance. I mean, it's just crazy. So I guess one team I kind of want to talk about is the Indianapolis Colts. I mean, for them to be doing what they're doing right now, down their franchise quarterback, granted he's a rookie in Anthony Richardson, it may be safe to say that Minshew Mania is back. Granted, their 3 wins are against the Panthers, Patriots, and Buccaneers, so it's not exactly world beaters they're playing out there right now.
Or 10 points against the Patriots.
Yeah, they did only score 10 points against the Patriots, which is not a great sign. But, I mean, They re-signed Jonathan Taylor. He's going to be around for at least the next few years. Michael Pittman Jr. looks like he's a stud, taking the next step. Jonathan Downs is really good. When Anthony Richardson comes back next year, I think this team's going to be really, really, really solid.
If he can stay healthy.
If he can stay healthy, because he never got to play with Jonathan Taylor. He was playing with Zach Moss, who, to his credit, was playing really well early in the season. But he's not Jonathan Taylor at the end of the day. What's kind of your feelings on the Colts going forward this season? Their remaining schedule, let me go ahead and paint you a pretty little picture right here. They got the Titans, easily winnable. Bengals, easily winnable. Steelers, winnable. Falcons, easily winnable. Raiders, easily winnable. And then the Texans, which could be a dogfight.
Man, you're just really flipping on Will Levis there, calling the Titans easily winnable.
I love Will Levis, but the team sucks. It's not. It's
Fair enough. Fair enough.
yeah. It's nothing against Will Levis. The Titans just suck.
Yeah, their win streak kind of has been a surprise. I think the Buccaneers is the best one of those three.
Buccaneers one was impressive.
Um,
I'm not gonna lie. They're probably about on the same tier.
yeah, and kind of before this win streak, they had a three-game slide, losing to the Jags, Browns, and Saints. Two of them are very solid teams,
They played the
which
Browns close
they really
too.
gave the Browns a run for their money.
Yeah.
Yeah, almost coming out of there with a win. But yeah, I don't know if I'm as on board with some of these upcoming wins as you are. Falcons, you know,
Falcons
that's
could go
I
out.
think
Yeah,
I think
that's an
that's a
interesting
sneaky hard
game.
game.
That
I
could
think
be.
I think the
They are winning
Steelers,
their
that's
division after
a
all.
hard game. And I don't think they can really beat the Texans.
No,
So
probably not.
um, yeah, that's really kind of two or three losses there for them in this upcoming schedule. But I'll be excited to see. I was always kind of a fan of Gardner Minshew. I liked him in Jacksonville, but I don't know if he's got the the wide receiver weapons
Oh,
that
I
he
would
really needs
disagree.
around him
I would
to
disagree.
make a significant playoff run.
Oh, they got Michael Pittman Jr., who I think he's probably a second tier receiver in the league right now, and then Jonathan Downs, who's like a great rookie, probably top tier rookie receiver in the league right now, and then obviously you got Jonathan Taylor and Zach Moss both out of the backfield. I think he's got plenty of weapons, and then one of the
I
best
didn't say
offensive
that.
lines in the league.
I said receiving weapons.
Right, I just named two.
Right, you can lock up too.
I mean, how many do you want a team to have? Most teams are lucky to have two great
What's their third
receivers.
string receiver? Who's their third string receiver?
Let me pull it up. Alec Pierce. He's got
Who?
22 receptions, 291 yards. So, yeah, he's not great.
I'm not sure I'm convinced. I mean, I think Minshew is like a very kind of,
Or
you
Josh
know,
Downs, not Jonathan Downs. I don't know where I got Jonathan Downs. Sorry.
he's a very kind of, middle of the pack quarterback. I think he needs some outstanding receivers to make a deep playoff run.
I mean,
And
no,
at this point, they're fighting for their a playoff spot.
I think Minshew is their limitation, if anything.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Oh,
I
well, I
don't
mean,
think
you
they
made it
have the
sound like it
weapons
was.
for. No, I don't think they have. I do like him. I don't think they have
Right.
weapons for necessary for him to make a deep playoff run.
I'm not saying a deep playoff run, but I do think they got a chance of making like a. I think they're. I think they've got as good a shot as probably any at making a wild card right now with that schedule.
Over the Texans,
Hmm. I mean, the Texans might have a more.
who I
favorable-
think are a far superior team.
Texans have Broncos, tough team. Jets, tough defense. Titans,
Broncos
Browns, tough
allegedly
defense.
tough team.
Well, we'll find out this week, won't we? I honestly, I could see
Let's be honest. The Jets stink.
the Jets do stink, but that defense is interesting. You never know.
Yeah, but they're not going
Um,
to score more than 6 points.
They shouldn't. You would hope not. I could see that Colts Texans game in Week 18 maybe being the decider for who gets the playoff spot between those two. I could definitely see it coming down to that.
I could too, but I would think it'd be who wins the division versus who misses the playoffs.
Really, you don't? So you don't think either of those teams are going to make a wild card?
No.
Really? Well, then I got to
Yeah.
know who you're like, because I've got at least one of those AFC South teams making it.
Oh, I guess never mind. I'm forgetting about Jacksonville.
Yeah.
I'm forgetting about Jacksonville. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I would have at least either one of either the Colts or Texans making it. One of either Cleveland or Pittsburgh, and then Denver. I think those are my three.
Um,
Because let's see, Pittsburgh
Indianapolis
has.
Indianapolis holds a tiebreaker over Houston based on head-to-head win percentage.
So if they
But
beat, I mean, well, they have the head-to-head
they've played
game, though.
once,
Yeah,
right?
they've had to have
So
played
they still
once.
play again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So did the Colts
Yep.
win that game?
Yep.
Oh well, there you go. Then I guess the Colts are better than the Texans.
That was in week 2
Most recent game they
with
played.
Anthony Richardson.
Most recent game they played. They also didn't have They also didn't have Jonathan Taylor. So
I just don't have faith in them being able to keep this win streak up.
I think it's going to come down to that Texans and Colts game for one of the wild cards. Probably the 6th seed, if I'm being honest, and I think the Broncos probably somehow jump the other. I don't know how that happens. I really don't know how that happens.
Indianapolis has a tiebreaker over Denver based on best win percentage in conference games.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
so-
Houston holds the tiebreaker over Denver based on win percentage in conference games.
So I guess what I would assume is that it comes down to Houston and Indianapolis for the 6th seed, and the Broncos have a 1-game better record than whoever loses that game. That's kind of what I have it coming down to then. Because the Broncos, I think, have a fairly favorable schedule too. Yeah, they have the Texans next, but then they have the Chargers, who I think they should beat. Lions going to be a tough game, but then Patriots, Chargers, Raiders to wrap up the season. I think the Broncos could easily go 4-2 to wrap up the year, and then jump whichever one of those two teams goes 3-3. And then either the Browns or Steelers go on a bad skid. I don't know which. Probably the Steelers.
Real quick, because I do kind of want to talk about the Steelers.
Yeah, we'll go with the Steelers.
Going back
Let's
to
talk about the Steelers.
I kind of want to talk about the Broncos for a second because we kind of talked about
I'm all over
this
the place.
before we started recording, and I brought up the point that they're obviously on their 5-game win streak, but 4 of those 5 wins have all been at home.
Right. You did say that.
So, and 3 of those wins are by 1 score.
Yep.
One by 1 against the Vikings, 1 by 2 against the Bills, and 1 by 2 against the Packers. What?
I feel like I'm gonna somehow come out of this sounding like a Bronco fan.
Well, tread lightly then. Say it.
No,
It's okay to admit you're a Broncos fan, Burke.
I'm not a Broncos fan. I refuse.
What do you want to say? Let Russ cook? Let's ride?
If they let Russ cook, Russ he's burning the kitchen down. That's the problem. That's the opposite of what they should do. Javonte Williams is a really good running back. They should keep handing him the rock 20, 25 times a game and even out balance off the offense off passing and running. If Russ gets more than 40 pass attempts a game, then they're losing. That's basically my thesis.
I don't think you want to be the Broncos and be in a shootout game. I don't think you consistently win those.
No, I agree.
But yeah, you're kind of talking about their upcoming schedule. I think the Texans, that's a really hard win. I think they drop at least, they play the Chargers twice. I think they drop at least one of those to the Chargers. And
I disagree.
Despite the Lions,
I just disagree with that.
You think they beat the Chargers 2 times?
I think they beat the Chargers both times, yes.
All right.
I got two words for you. Brandon Staley. That's it. That's all I got.
I mean, it's a fair point.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think they drop at least one to the Chargers, then I think they lose to the Lions. So I think that's for sure three tough games.
Oh no, I mean I definitely think that one of those Charger games are going to come down to the wire. But if there's anybody out there thinking that the Chargers have home field advantage in one of those two games, then you're sorely mistaken, because they're playing in LA, and that's known to be a visitor's ballpark. So, moving up a little bit, let's talk about the Steelers. You brought them up. They're kind of one of those
After
two.
their 58 or 59 game streak without having 400 yards of total offense.
Yeah, but finally snapped that. Matt Canada's out the door. All of a sudden, the offense knows how to gain yards. It's crazy how that works.
Funny how that works, huh?
Najee Harris came up 1 yard short of 100 yards, which sucks. But it's okay. I still won this week in fantasy, if anybody was concerned.
Nobody asked.
So, their upcoming schedule remains Cardinals should roll over that game. Patriots should roll that game. Colts, I think they lose. Bengals.
Well, of course you do. Colts Rider.
Bengals, they probably win. And then the Seahawks and Ravens, I think they lose both of those games. Wrapping up at 3-3 in these last 6, bringing them to a 10-7 record, which would kind of even them up there with Denver. I don't know what the tiebreaker would come down to in that case between Pittsburgh and Denver.
Pittsburgh and Denver.
'Cause they have not played each other
know.
this year. Would it go by conference wins first? Conference record?
Yes. No.
Which...
Well, I don't know. Percentage of wins in division is what it has Pittsburgh over Cleveland.
Yeah, but that might be because they're the same division, though.
Yeah.
If it's conference, then Pittsburgh actually does have the upper hand right now by 2 games.
Yeah, it's conference.
So if that's the case, Denver does have a little bit of an uphill battle to fight against Pittsburgh. As far as Cleveland's schedule goes, they got Rams, Jaguars, Bears, Texans, Jets, and Bengals. I could see them going 3-3 as well, losing to the Jaguars, Texans, and then maybe the Rams. Beating the Bears, Jets, and Bengals. If they both go 3-3, then obviously the Steelers would make the playoffs and the Browns would miss. Actually, I think both of them would make it. Then I don't know. I don't. That's why the AFC is crazy.
Depends on what you have Buffalo.
Because the Browns and Steelers have the same conference record as well. They're both 5-3 in conference. So if they were both to go 3-3 the rest of the way, I mean, I have them losing one NFC game but 2 AFC games, and then I have the Steelers winning or losing one. Same thing. My predictions have the Steelers and Browns with the same conference record and overall record. So I don't know what the heck would happen at that point.
No, they're in the same division, so it'd be division first.
Okay. And the division, Steelers are 3-1, Cleveland's 3-2.
Yeah, and they both have one in-division game left.
And I have the Steelers. No, they have 2. Or the Steelers have 2. They have the Bengals and the Ravens.
Oh yeah, Ravens. Yeah.
And I have them going 1-1 in those, so that would bring them to 4-2. I have the Browns going. This is a lot of work here, guys. Please like and subscribe if you enjoy this content. I don't know why you would, but I have them going 1-0. So I also have them having the same divisional record. I have the Browns and Steelers finishing with the same overall division and conference record. What comes after that?
Record against head-to-head opponents? Right?
Wait, wouldn't it? Does it ever come down to head-to-head between the two of them? It doesn't matter because they're 1-1 against each other. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. Yeah. Doesn't matter. Head-to-head opponents. Okay, they would have the same conference record, so I got to look at games outside of the conference that they play similar. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this. That's, okay, okay. We know one of those two teams would make it, quite possibly both of them, which would kind of make it tough for the Broncos to make it. They need a lot of help. The Broncos need a lot of help to sneak into the playoffs at this point. They need one of the 4 teams ahead of them to lose 4 games out of their next 6. So we'll see. We'll see what can happen there. After that tangent, Aaron, I think it's probably time we wrap this up. So you got anything else to go? Okay, okay. That'll do it here for the Most Unprofessional Sports YouTube channel. Swivel Chair Sports. I've been your host, Zach Circlebar Burkle. Here with my coach today, Aaron. Go and say bye, Aaron.
Bye, Aaron.
All right, that'll do it. Deuce.